G'day, Steel Nation. How you going? It's Mark here, Mark Davidson from Steel Nation Australia.
What's going on, West Country? What's that? Let's go, baby! Yes, yes! Let's go!
What's the deal with this game?
I think the stereotype that we drink Fosters, and the first Foster I saw was in Pittsburgh. It's a true story.
Yeah,
The
I've
first
only
ever
seen-
Foster I saw was in America. I've never
Well, I
seen one
thought that
here.
was like Australia for beers.
For what? G'day, Steelers. Oh my goodness, I stuffed up already. G'day, Steel Nation. Welcome back to Steel Curtain Network, and also welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Today we have a fire show. I'm really fired up yet again, and it feels like each and every year this happens when the NFL media and other teams and other fan bases count out the Steelers. So also, guys, welcome back to Steel Curtain Network, and I'm live on Steelers Nation Australia. So I'll be getting a few comments here and there as we go along. In the first half an hour, while I'm on Steel Curtain Network, I won't be swearing. But if you do want to check out maybe the unfiltered version, at mark 31 minutes in this live, I'm going to go absolutely off my effing rocker because the Steelers are being counted out once again. So hello to Steel Curtain Network and hello to Steelers Nation Australia. Let's start this because we've got to go back. And I made a video of this talking about Dan Orlovsky I think it's 3 or 4 days ago that he predicted the Steelers going 0-6. So I want to start there first before we get into some other things that the media is simply saying that Mike Tomlin is going to have a losing season again. And it's absolute hogwash. Remember, I won't be swearing in this part of the episode because I'm on Steel Curtain Network. But after I do the ray gun dance on my video here, not live, I'll show a video. I'm going to go absolutely off. But let's start there. Let's start with a few days ago. It was this term was you saw this in the news. Dan Orlovsky, he was a Lions quarterback who went like 2-12 as a starter. He was on one of the NFL shows out there saying that I think you're staring at 0-6 in the face, referring to that Rudolph just isn't the guy. But it's also a massive insult. When he said that, Dan Orlovsky, the guy who ran outside of the end zone, when he said this, I think you're staring 0-6 in the face, it's a massive insult to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, if you like him, dislike him, I don't think people hate Mike Tomlin, but if you like him or dislike him, whatever it may be, if you want him to win championships and playoff games, we all do, right? But the guy has done a tremendous job, 18 years in the league, and he's never had a losing season, ever. Now, some Steelers fans will say that's pointless. We want to win Super Bowls, but I keep telling Steelers fans it's really hard to win a Super Bowl. 12 teams right now have never won one, and 4 teams have never been. And Mike Tomlin gives you the best chance right now as a coach. 18 years in a row for non-losing seasons is not easy. It's not easy. So I think it's completely disrespectful for Dan Orlovsky to say that about the Steelers. And it happens every freaking offseason. Every offseason we hear this stuff about the Steelers can't do this, Steelers can't do that, don't have the right personnel, we haven't got a quarterback here, we haven't got a receiver there, they got a booster up the D-line, yada, yada, yada. And yes, it does look like right now the Steelers don't have a quarterback because they're waiting for the Aaron news to finally end in retirement or he's going to sign as a Pittsburgh Steeler. But this was, of course, going the direction of Mason Rudolph. And also it's a massive slap in the face when he says you're staring 0-6 in the face from Dan Orlovsky, who are a guy who ran at the end zone and had worse stats than Mason Rudolph. This happens every single year, and it's just at this point you're better off to grant Mike Tomlin is going to have a winning season than go against the Mike Tomlin coaching and saying, oh, then they're going to lose. This will be finally, this will be the year that Mike Tomlin loses. Finally, it's all going to be over. The season's one and done. We're going to go 4-13, and we won't make the playoffs, and we're going to go for a high draft pick. It's just not going to happen. The Steelers are competitive each and every single year. Now, for one, Mason Rudolph, I give a good chance to. I hope he does get it. I saw there was an interview with Kaboli and I think is it Kaboli and someone? I can't remember the first guy's name. Kaboli and Mac, I believe, on YouTube. They had Mason Rudolph on their program. It was a really good conversation. Mason Rudolph seems pretty confident about being QB1. However, he did talk about the financial side, was when quarterbacks came in and had been being paid more money, e.g. Trubisky, there was a depth chart order for Trubisky to go there first, then Kenny Pickett, then Mason Rudolph was third. Now, in this sense, I think he's the highest paid quarterback on the roster so far with his $4 million deal over 2 years, depending what they do with Will Howard being the QB3. But it does look like, without the signing of A-Rod so far, they're going to go with Mason Rudolph at QB1. But it could simply be QB2. We have to find out, right? And the reason why this is all so crazy, with the Dan Orlovsky, these were his stats. Dan Orlovsky went, in his career, played 26 games. He had 2 wins, 10 losses. He had 58% completion rate, 3,100 yards, 6.1 average, 15 TDs, 13 interceptions. Mason Rudolph, who's still continuing his career, has 29 games. He has won 9 wins, 8 losses, 1 draw, 63% completion, 4,600 yards, and 6.7 average, 28 TDs, and 20 interceptions. Now, it wasn't just one guy in the media. There was Lewis Riddick. There was the other, I can't remember the name of the chick, the bird there, the lady on the panel. She was also counting out Mason Rudolph, but everyone will do this. Everybody's going to count out Mason Rudolph. He's not the guy. He's only backup. He can't win. But like I said, Mike Tomlin in 18 years has had not a losing season. Not one losing season in 18 years. So it's highly disrespectful for this to happen. Then you go around Twitter, and I saw more of these things on Twitter or on X. And by the way, guys, from my live chat, I'll get to the comments in just a second. But this was one of the blokes out there from Twitter. He said, question of the day, what's your Steelers record prediction with or without Aaron Rodgers? He says with here, it's a winning season with 10-7, and without, it's 7-10. Assuming mostly Mason and maybe Howard at the season's end. And I also say, what high disrespect towards the Steelers, the coaching staff, and Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has done so much with less in years past when they played Duck and there was Big Ben got injured and they played Rudolph near the end. Even the 2023 season when Rudolph saved Christmas and Kenny Pickett was injured and Trubisky didn't work out, he has done so much with less. And yes, at the same time, Mike Tomlin is hiring these players and he's hiring the coaches. And I get that. We have the Matt Canada situation. But Mike Tomlin always finds a way to be competitive and to win games and to get above the threshold of a 9-10 or a 10-11 season or 11-6 season so they can go to the playoffs. So everyone around the NFL media is saying the Steelers can't get it done because they haven't got a quarterback. Now check this out. The quarterbacks, there's a new quarterback that, well, not a new quarterback. Brock Purdy got a recent deal for 5 years, $265 million deal, reported $181 million guaranteed, lands him tied, the 7th in QB average annual value. Now, I'm going to go through all 10 of these guys, and this was from another bloke on Twitter called Laurie Horesh, because he's an Australian guy. They're saying the Steelers can't win because we haven't got a quarterback. And some of those same fans will say the Steelers, the ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl. These 10 quarterbacks I'm about to list are quarterbacks who have not won a Super Bowl, yet they're being paid the most money in the league. Dak Prescott, number 1, $60 million, hasn't won a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, $55 million a year. He went to a Super Bowl and he lost. Josh Allen, $55 million, hasn't won a Super Bowl. Love, $55 million, hasn't won one. Trevor Lawrence hasn't won one. Tua hasn't won one. Purdy, Goff, Herbert, Lamar. All these quarterbacks have not won a Super Bowl. And yes, they're good quarterbacks. But isn't that the ultimate goal? Isn't that funny when it's like that? They say the Steelers are worse off now because the QB situation is not sorted. It's not figured out. They need to have they need Aaron Rodgers to save the day. But at the same time, when they say they need Aaron Rodgers to save the day, that with Aaron Rodgers they're 10-7, and without they're 7-10, which I think's absolute. Can't swear on this program yet. Like I said, I'm going to wait about 20 minutes when I do extended coverage on Steeler Nation Australia. But on Steel Curtain Network, they're saying that Aaron Rodgers will give them 3 or 4 wins, give them a chance to win the Super Bowl. But without Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be absolute, trash, and they're going to miss the playoffs. And the media right now is just only focusing on the quarterback. They're not focusing on the upgrade at running back. They're not focusing on the O-line getting better or the upgrade on the D-line getting better with Harmon and Y.A. Black and Cameron Hayward going into his last few years, setting up that standard, and T.J. Watt coming back healthy again, and Minka playing hopefully better safety. And he was a pro safety last year, but maybe he can get around the ball. They're not focusing on the players like Beanie Bitcher coming back into his second year or Peyton Wilson. No one like that. They're focusing on the quarterback that we haven't got one, apparently, to their standards. We haven't got a quarterback, their standards being these top 10 quarterbacks. But even the top 10 quarterbacks who are being paid most in the NFL have still not won a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, Herbert, Goff, in our division, Joe Burrow. These guys haven't won a Super Bowl, and they're putting all their money into these players to get what? MVPs. And at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl, and they still haven't got it. So what's really the difference if that we haven't got a chance for the Super Bowl, but we have a quarterback who's not on the mainstream agenda, like one of these top players? Can he play? Mason Rudolph, can he play? But is he elite like Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen? No, he's not. Would you prefer to have these quarterbacks for a chance to win a Super Bowl? 110%. But the media is sleeping on the Steelers yet again. They do this every single year. Every single year. Let me go to the comments to calm down for a minute. Then we're going to go to a quick break, because after this quick break, I'm going to talk about this team rebuilding situation. I think the rebuilding idea is also nonsense, right? But let me go to the comments first. I'm going to, that's right. Jaden Smith in comments says, Clark called us out also. That was Ryan Clark, has been in the media too, calling out the Steelers as well. Happens every year, though. Every single year, as I'm far away from my microphone so I don't have to yell right into the microphone, happens every single year that these media outlets call the Steelers out and say, we can't do this, we're not a good team. But at the end of the day, yes, Super Bowl is the end goal, but still with good quarterbacks being those top 10, those teams have not won one with a great quarterback. So here we are, the Steelers, and Mike Tomlin gets a lot of flack. It's why I defend him so much, because I think he's a good coach, good person, and overall great leader for the team of 18 years with non-losing seasons. And at this moment, we don't have a franchise quarterback. Those clubs that do have a franchise quarterback still can't get it done. I just want to let you guys sit with that. They can't get it done with their franchise quarterbacks. Now, shout out to Hurts, shout out to Patrick Mahomes, and only one team can win the Super Bowl. But it's highly hilarious. You see these different outlets saying, well, the Steelers haven't got a quarterback. We need to pick something up. And blah, blah, blah. So if they don't do this, it's like, what the French toast? They are competitive each and every single year. That's why I love the team. That's why I love the Steelers community, because we are so competitive and we are so fired up. Exactly right. Roberta says here too from my live chat, hey, Mark, the other thing to look at is how many of these QBs have been named MVP. Exactly right. A lot of MVPs, but no Super Bowl winners. Basically, Steeler Nation, and thank you on the live chat, and also thank you on Steel Curtain Network. I'm a bit all over the shop, bit rattled, but at the same time, I just wanted to point at the fact that these media outlets and these stupid, sometimes NFL fans out there from different clubs will call the Steelers out and say, you know what, this year, I reckon you're going to go 6-11. This year, I think you're going to go 5 and whatever it may be. This year, you're only, there's another one I want to bring up. This year, you're only favorite. This is via Sean too. Sean left this in our Discord. So the Steelers are favored to win just 6 games in 2025. It happens each and every single year, and the Steelers prove them wrong. They proved them wrong in week 1 over the Bengals a few years ago. They proved them wrong in week 1 over the Buffalo Bills. Now, of course, the season ebb and flows, and last season we ended in disaster, and it was five losses, and we lost against the Ravens in the playoffs. And yes, you got to get better. But in terms of the overall off-season approach, they always put them down. The NFL media says the Steelers can't do this. They suck. They're terrible. They're awful. Mike Tomlin is due. He's due for a losing season. And then it doesn't happen because Mike Tomlin is a quality coach, and people can't see that. All they want to say was Bill Cowher's players and this, and this. But Mike Tomlin is a quality coach. He gets these men prepared, and players want to play for Mike Tomlin. Now, I've probably pissed off half the fan base, but I don't care because Mike Tomlin is a leader. Now, we're going to go to a quick little break and a ray gun reset for the Steelers on Steeler Nation Australia. And after this break, I do want to talk about this idea of a rebuild because I think it's absolutely bonkers also, right? So after this break, we're going to talk about rebuild and what would it mean for the Steelers to actually do a rebuild. You can put it out there and say the Steelers should rebuild and here's why. But what would it actually mean and what would it take for the Steelers to rebuild? So Steeler Nation on Steel Curtain Network, here's a quick Steel Curtain Network. Here's a quick little break and I'll be right back after this.
I'm speaking. Can you hear me? Can you ask me a question? Yes.
Alrighty, Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steel Curtain Network and also welcome back to Steelers Nation Live, where I'm recording this live and I'm doing this podcast as well for Steel Curtain Network, so it's a bit of fun. In the first half, my overall point was, don't stress out, don't worry about these media heads. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a tough team. They're a very competitive team. We're not like the Browns, we're not like the Jets, not like the Titans of recent, not like the Jaguars or the Saints. We have a very competitive roster and the team wants to win. And I think it's overall disrespect, and I really mean that, overall disrespect for the media to call out the Steelers each and every year that they're going to have a losing season, and it doesn't happen, right? It does not happen. That was my first part of the rant. Now, the second part, and g'day to everyone in the chat as well. My second part is, I saw this tweet on X, on Twitter, whatever you want to call it, right? And by the way, guys, we are 14 minutes away from me unleashing the absolute non-filtered version. If you want to check that out, check that on Steelers Nation Australia on YouTube. It's going to be so unfiltered. You might want to cover your ears. I'm going to go absolutely off. But before the non-filtered version, here is the safe version. Here's Jordan York from Twitter. This bloke has like a YouTube channel called the Steelers Sick Podcast. So shout out to him. But he retweeted this, and I disagree 100%. He says here this via retweet, says Steelers just need to start the rebuild now. Point blank, period. So let's talk about this. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to start a rebuild. I would firstly ask, where do you start the rebuild? Well, hang on a minute. I might be getting a bit too high, a bit too angry so far. Where would you start the rebuild? Do you start it at cornerback? Do you start it on the bench? Do you build better facilities? Do you get a better quarterback? Do you get a better coach? Is it fire the owner? Is it the owner walking away? Where do you start? Where do you start the rebuild? I think this whole rebuild idea is 110% an absolute made up fan analogy. The team is always consistently rebuilding and retooling as you work a franchise. That's what franchises do. Each and every year, if you have a weak position at middle linebacker, cornerback, quarterback, safety or whoever, D lineman, you rebuild and retool all the year. To say that the Steelers just need to start the rebuild now makes absolutely no sense. No sense. But let's go with this analogy. Let's start it. Let's say that we had to start from the ownership from top down. From top down, that Art Rooney was forced to be fired, which won't happen. They keep talking about the Art Rooney and the Rooneys, that he needs to walk away from the club. He needs to sell the Pittsburgh Steelers. But it won't happen. Because you know why it won't happen? Because it started with his father back in, his grandfather back in 1933. And it's a family-run business, so that just won't happen. So Steelers fans need to deal with that sense and say that actually there will be no rebuild in terms of ownership because he's the owner, or his grandfather, the chief, started it all. So it's not going to start there. Then where do you go next? Maybe you start with possibly the coach. We start the rebuild with the coach. Fire Mike Tomlin. How many Steelers fans over Twitter, Facebook, and all over YouTube say fire Mike Tomlin? It's that easy saying those three words. Fire Mike Tomlin. It's really easy to say, but I think it's very hard to actually implement the idea of doing it in a real sense. Put yourself in the shoes of Art Rooney. Art Rooney II. If you were, why would you fire the coach who's been one of the most winningest coaches in the NFL and in Pittsburgh Steelers history? He has one Super Bowl. He's been to another one, which he lost. He's won some division titles. He's never had a losing season. Why would you fire someone who knows the team inside and out? So let's say you do fire him. Let's say you do fire Mike Tomlin. The rebuild. Now, point blank period. It starts there. So you fire Mike Tomlin. Then what do you have? A coach comes in out of nowhere. Who do you get? Which coach do you get? You're left with an organization who's always been very competitive, who has chance for the playoffs. And at that point, they go and get some scrub coach you don't even know about, right? But let's say you don't fire him. Let's move down another step. Does a rebuild start mean you're going to I don't know, have no quarterback? They went and got Mason Rudolph to be a bit of a bridge guy, but do you have to be really bad and tank the season to go 4-13, 3-14 to then go and get a high draft pick at quarterback, which doesn't always work out? Many quarterbacks in the NFL who have gone round one have absolutely failed in that sense. And you look to the Jaguars in recent history with Trevor Lawrence, who's one of those blokes on the list of 10 quarterbacks who are being paid $55 million a season. They kind of like tanked for Lawrence. You heard the idea talking about tank for Tua with the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are an absolute trash team right now. They're paying so much money for Tua. That hasn't worked out. So if you were to rebuild, do you rebuild from the point of starting from a quarterback? The Steelers just need to start the rebuild now, point blank period. My point with this all is where the French toast do you start it? If you are to do a rebuild, do you go and trade away TJ Watt? Do you go and trade away Minkah Fitzpatrick? Do you go and, I don't know, sell the house from that way, then start again? It doesn't make any sense to me. This idea of rebuild is fantasy. It's absolute fan talk, and to me, it makes no sense. If you had to rebuild from the very beginning, that's getting rid of the owner. That's getting rid of the coach. That's getting rid of TJ Watt. That's getting rid of Jalen Warren. That's getting rid of the tight end, the O-line, which they are starting to rebuild over 3 or 4 years. That's having another new philosophy. It's not as easy on paper to say, oh, let's just rebuild. Steelers need to start the rebuild right now, point blank period, with nothing behind it. Absolutely nothing behind it. Because when you dive into it deeply, the owner's not going to walk away. Coach Tomlin is there to stay until he retires, until he says, you know what, I'm out, I've had enough. The QB situation, they're trying to figure it out, but right now on the market, not many QBs around besides Aaron Rodgers to join the Steelers, which could be a possibility, but I'm happy if they go with Mason Rudolph. And also in terms of rebuilding, they went and got a quarterback in the 6th round who could be a flyer. It may work out, it may not. And the guy is a national champion from Ohio State. Also got one of his buddies too in Jack Sawyer to play outside linebacker, and he's like now in rotation with TJ Watt. This idea of rebuild isn't as sexy as I think people think. It's easy to write down fire Mike Tomlin, but that's where the conversation starts to end. Once you say fire Mike Tomlin, it's all kind of over. You sit there in the comments, you watch any Pittsburgh Steelers media on YouTube or on Facebook, and they'll be celebrating someone's birthday. It'll be Big Ben's birthday. It'll be Troy's birthday. It'll be whoever. Jalen Warren will go to a camp, do some crazy things, do some great things with the kids and play football and muck around. And in the comments, you'll see rebuild, fire Art II, fire Mike Tomlin. But that's where the conversation starts and also ends. It's very frustrating. But as a fan from overseas, from Steelers Nation Australia, and I'm happy you guys listen to me on Steel Curtain Network. I've been pretty riled up the last 3 days about this. But as a fan from overseas, I see these talking points and they absolutely make no sense to me. Because there's no way you want to rebuild right now and tear the house down and start again. The Steelers are doing that in terms of D-line. They drafted 2 blokes there on the D-line to get better. They've been drafting on the O-line to get better over the years. They got rid of Najee Harris, but replaced him with Caleb Johnson. I've seen interviews with him talking good Steelers and very confident. And he's a young bloke. Maybe he can learn from Warren and play good reps at running back. Arthur Smith now into his, I think, 2nd year as a coach for the Steelers. It didn't work out with Justin Fields because he wanted more money for the Jets. Didn't work out with Russell Wilson either. So they brought back Mason Rudolph to try and steady the ship. This term of rebuild absolutely point blank period frustrates me because where do you start it? Where do you start the rebuild? Where at what point do you start? You know what? Do they start at? Does that mean the rebuild at cornerback? They have to get rid of Joey Porter because Joey Porter is one of the good ones that we got out of the draft. Does that mean the rebuild starts? Do we start it at middle linebacker? We don't trade for Patrick Queen as well. I just think it's nonsense to say the rebuild's here because in reality, the franchise of a football team, been watching this for 23 years, they're rebuilding, retooling each and every year, and each and every year can be somewhat similar, but also the exact opposite of what the Steelers are doing from the year past. This year now we brought back Mason Rudolph. They brought in DK Metcalf, and they traded away George Pickens. These are all ideas where they are retooling, rebuilding, but not from a scratch. Of like this comment on the internet just sounds like the Steelers just need to start the rebuild now. It sounds like they've done absolutely nothing, when in reality they have. The Steelers have traded for DK Metcalf. They got rid of George Pickens, who was deemed a toxic player. They brought back Mason Rudolph to be quarterback. They got rid of Najee Harris to replace him by the running back Caleb Johnson. And they got Warren. He's going to probably start for the Steelers running back situation. They've also brought back Ben Skowronek, and I think he'll be a teamer and he'll be a part of the receivers. Roman Wilson goes into his year and gets his chance. So this idea of a rebuild, really, I can't swear yet. Got 4.5 minutes. And guys from Steel Curtain Network, thank you very much for listening to me rant about these 2 topics, because it was about the people just giving the NFL media saying to Steeler fans, your team sucks, you can't win, there's no way that you do anything. But each and every year, the Pittsburgh Steelers prove them wrong. Each and every year they prove them wrong. And the second half of my little rant, and thank you Steelers Nation, Steel Curtain Network, was the idea of rebuild to me makes absolutely no sense. No sense at all. Like, the Steelers are rebuilding, retooling each and every year, and they've also trying to solve problems that come up, like Cameron Hayward, who's getting older at his position. They go out there and get Derek Carr with the first overall pick, and many NFL analysts wanted to see us get Shedeur Sanders. Why didn't you draft Sanders? Because we wanted to get Derek Harmon to solve the D-line issue. Thank you, Steeler Nation. Thank you, Steeler Nation, Steel Curtain Network. We're going to end it there, and I appreciate every single one listening on the program that is Steel Curtain Network. Steel Curtain Network. I'm so happy to be back, and I appreciate every single one of you. But the Steelers, don't count them out. Do not count them out this year. Don't count them out next year. We don't know what's going to happen with the Rodgers watch, because Ian Connor, who's a biographer from Aaron Rodgers, reports that Rodgers is likely to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. However, they've been saying that for a while. They've been saying Rodgers is going to sign tomorrow, next week, or after the draft. This point, he's going to be signing at the Pat McAfee show. We don't know when it's going to happen. So thank you, Steelers Nation, and also thank you to Steel Curtain Network. All right, now I can fucking go on my tangent. I'll be right back. Hang on. All right, so I had to record that. I got limited time today. I had to record that for my Steel Curtain Network audio stuff. So that's going to go out there very soon. And now I can get into fucking business. I'm pissed off, man. I'm very pissed off. Okay, now my camera's not working either. because I can't swear on the old. It makes sense. I shouldn't swear too much either, but I'm just pissed off, man. I'm just pissed off at these NFL people because they absolutely suck and they just have no idea. And I'm going to play a clip soon of this guy called Adam Shine from Mad Dog Radio. But before I do, I want to go back to the top of the comments. I agree with you, man. I'm there too. No, I'm here. Hello, I'm here. Yeah, I need to do it again. I'm here. But I want to go back. I want to go. I don't know what that means. On biopic. What's that mean? I want to go back to the start because it was funny. Because you guys are talking about there's a new feature on YouTube now. There's a new feature. Something to do with the community, like number of people or something like that. So, and I think it's so funny because you guys just start talking about you just start talking about like you just start talking about experience points are in Skyrim, and yeah, there's some new feature that it calculates how if you give out like super chats. You don't have to, but you can if you want to, likes, comments, and all those or stickers, and it says, let me read it. It says the leaderboard is a place for fans to stand out in the community, which, by the way, everyone stands out. Everyone's awesome, right? Top 3 get special badges in the chat, in the live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. So they're trying to do like Twitch. It's like Twitch, right? You'll need to collect experience points or XP. So, so it is a bit like Sky. You know what? XP is great. Send live chat messages, send super chats or super stickers, and learn more or turn off or whatever. So it's just something fun, I guess. I don't know. I wanted to point that out because it's really funny. When I'm looking at the chat, all I see is everyone talk about Skyrim. Right. Now, oh man, now I get to go off. Now I get to go fucking off, right? G'day Blue Nose, he's right. Blue Nose says, how's Cleveland rebuilt for the last 20 years or going on Miami, the Jets, Giants, I could go on and on. That's absolutely fucking right? But let's go back for a bit because I do want to talk about this, what was it? The prediction that Mike Tomlin's going to have a losing season again, right? And let me play this video. This is a video from this bloke here. This guy is called Adam Sheen. He's from Mad Dog Radio. I'm going to play this audio and picture of him, and then we're going to comment after because this kind of shit rolls me up. It fucking pisses me off. So let's play this. 1 sec.
And yes, and I'll amend this if Rodgers plays, or maybe I won't. We're going to predict it again. One of these years we're going to be right. Mike Tomlin is going to have a losing record this year. I guarantee this is the year. They are worse at quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. Worse at receiver. Worse at running back. Schedule's difficult. I think the Jets are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers week number 1 of the season. Mason Rudolph? Really? Is that what we're doing? Or Aaron Rodgers is going to have to introduce himself to his teammates at some point this spring or summertime? I mean, what's the game plan here for the Pittsburgh Steelers? What is the game plan for the Pittsburgh Steelers? My goodness.
Rightio. So that fool, that absolute loser, he's been predicting this for 5 fucking years. 5 years, and there was a tweet going back to like 2021 or 2020. He said the same thing. He keeps calling out Mike Tomlin year after year, this absolute bozo of a clown. Adam Shine on Mad Dog Radio is saying the Steelers are going to lose. Dan Orlovsky, the guy who fucking ran out of the end zone, is saying they're going to lose 0-6. They keep bringing up Mason Rudolph. This guy can't do anything. And I if you haven't seen it yet, go listen to Mac and Kaboli on YouTube. He's got his goatee out. Mason Rudolph is talking about being the quarterback for the Steelers. So this stuff is absolute lunacy. How the Steelers media, the other media always, they don't know what we're doing. Well, the Steelers don't need to rebuild from fresh. They're retooling it and building the franchise with the holes that need fit. They need a D-line. What they do? Go and get D-line. They need outside edge pressure from Jack Sawyer to rotate with TJ. They need to bring back Mason Rudolph to be quarterback number 2, possibly quarterback number 1. They went and got DK Metcalf. They're saying it's the exact same situation without George Pickens, which is not. DK Metcalf is heaps better. I listened to DK Sports as well. He was talking about Calvin Austin carving the right to be a receiver number 2. There's been articles written now that Steelers media talking about that the Arthur Smith offense didn't suit Russell Wilson. He couldn't throw over the middle. And the media guys, all they fucking focus on is we need a quarterback and you're going to lose these games. He's saying the Jets are going to beat us. He's saying Mike Tomlin's going to have his first losing season, but he's been predicting this year after year after year. And even in my little thing here, I've got him as a jag-off or jag-off, whatever it is, because he's absolute tool bag. These people don't know. They don't listen. They don't watch. They don't watch like you guys do at home every week, or you tune into Steelers reporters or what is happening. Now, are the Steelers like a Super Bowl favorite? Probably not. Can they win a playoff game? Possibly, but they're not going to lose and contend to be pretenders and be a 6 and whatever it is, 6 and 11 team or a 5 and something win team, a 12 team. It makes no fucking sense. I get over these people, man, over and over. Each and every year we prove them wrong. So that's right. J-Devil says that Rodgers or 0-17. It's absolutely insane. From one perspective to Dan Orlovsky saying we're going to stare 0-6 in the face, and when you go back to those images of this loser as well, right? The guy who ran out of the end zone, he had no idea. He had no idea the end zone was there, right? I think he was a part of a 0-16 team as a quarterback for the Lions. The Lions struggled that year. They were a bad team, right? We're going to lose what? We're going to lose against the Jets, Seahawks, Patriots, Vikings away in Dublin, Browns, and Bengals. We're going to lose all those games. We're going to go 0-6. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Anyways, that's just I'm just getting a bit pissed off, man. I just get a bit over, you know what? Let's get annoyed. I get very annoyed that the media has, like, the amount of respect they have for Mike Tomlin is zero. Is absolute zero. It's insane. All right, I'll go to some of the comments. Because, you know what as well? I do want to, yeah, I'll talk about it in a minute with the rebuild again. But, yeah, James Wright, does this dude even know football? He doesn't. They get on the microphone. I'll tell you what, too, and listen to this, right? They get on the microphone. They try and sound enthusiastic. They try and sound, like, listen to the way he talks, right? One second.
And yes, and I'll amend this if Rodgers plays, or maybe I won't. We're going to predict it again.
We're going to predict it again. Just because you sound like a fucking loser or a Looney Tune doesn't mean you're making good points. Some of these people maybe it's because it's like an American thing. I don't know. Maybe it's like they need to sound like crazy and stupid or have like high inflection in their voice or low inflection in their voice. Like certain things to get across a point does not mean that you're right. Colin Cowherd does it. Other blokes in the media do it too. They try and sound different to make a point.
One of these years we're going to be right. Mike Tomlin is going to have a losing record this year. I guarantee this is the year. They are worse at quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. Worse at receiver. Worse at running back. Schedule.
Worse at running back. Worse at receiver. I disagree. Quarterback, we'll see. We'll see how that pans out, right? Quarterback is only really, I think, his best point.
Difficult. I think the Jets are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Jets.
Week number 1 of the season. Mason Rudolph?
Mason Rudolph? See, they do that. They use like voice inflection to try and make their point, and because they're not making a point. So they do all this kind of like garbage in radio, and because these guys have a big platform of ESPN or NFL, whatever it is, they try and sound super serious, and what they're saying is absolute fucking garbage. It's just garbage, man. These people are trash. Like their takes are just. I would love to have a podcast with them, but they still wouldn't take it that seriously because they wouldn't even know who's on a team. They could only probably name 3 or 4 or 5, 7 starters on the team. They couldn't name the whole 53-man roster or the 90 men on the team. Mike Tomlin is, what he says is this.
We do not care.
Right. Anyways. Hooey dooey. Yeah, what's the go with that? And I'm not picking on Americans. I'm just saying, like, some of these media dudes do this. They tend to do it because when they can't make a point or they haven't got the actual NFL facts and references and knowledge behind it, or they don't know what they're talking about, they seem to just act like a character. And I think that guy from the radio, because I saw that on my Twitter that Adam Shine dude was like, Mike Tomlin can't win. You know, we all know it with Mark Madden. He plays a character as well. They all do it. Colin Cowherd with the gold. Does he have the gold microphone? They all do it. All guys in media do that. So, and I know you need to be entertaining. I try and be entertaining as much as I can as well. Dead set. So, but it just fucks me off sometimes, man. DK Storm, or sorry, Dark Storm says, I should have been a sports reporter. I've never need to be correct. Exactly right. Exactly right. We should all be reporters, because then we don't have no accountability. Because that's what happens each and every year with the draft. They go and do a mock draft and no one fucking talks about it. They go and do 4, 5, 6 mock drafts and then they're wrong and then just move on. They go and predict the Steelers to lose opening week and then they're wrong. They go and predict all these things that Mike Tomlin's going to have a losing season and then they're fucking wrong. It's so crazy each and every year. And Steelers fans, I think we should be hopeful right now for our team. Our team it's different to last year, but it could be a good thing as well. I think they got better at running back. I think Jalen Warren's going to lead the way. I think it's going to be fun to watch Caleb Johnson be the rookie. It's going to be fun to see Jack Sawyer on the outside. It's going to be fun to see Joey Porter step it up again, and with guys on the other side, Darius Slay. It's going to be a fun team, man. It's going to be an exciting team. So all this talk about that Mike Tomlin's going to have a fucking losing season is just insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah. Oh, exactly right, Tita. And out of all the teams to predict, I would say, you know what? I would predict maybe the Titans could go 0-6, or maybe because with a rookie quarterback, or maybe the Browns could go 0-6 or 1-5. But out of all the teams to go 0-6, is it a franchise that doesn't quit, that shows up to every game and tries to be competitive? It's not the Pittsburgh Steelers, the goddamn Jets. Yeah. So, holy dooly, oh man. It's coming. Don't you worry. Look, if I can have one, if I can have a Steelers, a Nation Australia podcast, everyone's having one now. There is someone in the chat last week told me about Beanie Bishop podcast. That was pretty cool. I watched that the other week. It's just the way the world's going. The world it's look at me mentality. But I enjoy this. I enjoy talking football and releasing it off my Steelers chest. I need to get rid of it, but it is like that. Everyone's got their own podcast. How many countless fucking fake Steeler fan podcasts out there that talk about negativity and rubbish? I will not talk about that stuff. I'm talking about the team that's in front of us. And the team that's in front of us right now. I know I'm doing the Trump hands, but I like the team. If someone's like, "Oh, don't talk with your hands," but the team that has in front of us right now is a very physical team. It's a big team up front with the O-line dudes. It's the Parham Jr. He's like 6'8". It's Darnell Washington. We have a chance to be competitive. Like, you just can't write them off. They're going to write them off. Oh, do we? Isn't DK? I think he should be. He's number one receiver. I think if anything, if you were to say that we're the exact same position as last year, I'd say that's wrong. I think DK Metcalf's a better receiver than George Pickens. So we'll see how that plays out, you know. No, it's not a fake one. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was pretty entertaining. Yeah. Blue Nose says he watched 2 episodes of Blue Nose says he watched 2 episodes of Beanie. Yeah, I thought it was good. Do you know why I thought it was good? Because he was making something, and I'm doing the hands again. He was making something, and also talking football. And there's like at the start of it, he was like making the cake. And they did like a little podcast in the middle, and it was like that podcast got me fired up because Beanie Bishop's coming back, man. Undrafted guy, rookie next year, year 2, he'll be with the team. Peyton Wilson, he'll be a middle linebacker. You might see him next to Queen as well. I don't know where Holcomb's going to go, but that podcast was fun because they went from the very beginning. They did all the ingredients first. They set everything up, put the cake in the oven. They went and had a bit of a talk. They came back, ate the cake. Something different than yeah, something different than like just normal podcast. I don't know. That's why I wanted to try and implement my coffee idea. Holy dooly, Steeler Nation. We're gonna almost end it soon in a few minutes, 10 minutes time, whatever it may be. Yeah. I hope he comes back too as well. I hope he comes back strong. This is why these fucking media outlets are so dumb. These fake Steeler channels are dumb. They get so worried about the little things that the Steelers are doing or not doing. We didn't go and The big thing over the weekend was Chris Olave, because he was apparently there was talks with Olave and Omar Khan. It didn't happen. Oh, the world's over. We didn't sign a receiver. It's fucking fine. They'll figure it out. Yeah, 100%. I saw that too. Holy dooly. Just these. But this is what I see in the Twitterverse is just people just whinging, complaining about everything. Rebuild. We need a rebuild. You know, Steelers need a rebuild now. Point blank. If you fucking could you okay. Here's the okay. Wait a minute. Here's the unfucking filtered version of this rebuild. Could you fucking imagine right now if the Steelers actually decided to rebuild, how lost the Steelers would be? If they went and fired Art Rooney and they went and got rid of Coach Tomlin, and they got rid of Art Rooney, Coach Tomlin, gone, fucking gone, right? They went and got rid of, let's say, TJ Watt. Let's say they also got rid of, let's say DK Metcalf isn't there because that's not a massive move. They move him from him. Let's say they got rid of Minka and they got all these draft picks back. We would be in the exact same scenario of the fucking Browns if we did this. Steelers need to start the rebuild now. Could you imagine if the Steelers actually did this, where they got rid of the house and they were tanking for Tua or for the quarterback, that we would be absolutely stuck like the Jets are, that haven't won a playoff game in many years, haven't won a Super Bowl since, 1967. The Browns have never won a Super Bowl. The Bengals never won one. The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000, right? Could you imagine if they fucking like it just fucking irks. It irks me. It irks me. If that actually happened, where the Steelers were like, "Oh, well, you win the rebuild," makes no sense. Everything. I'm saying everything. I'm saying everything. When you see comments like that, and Gene's right. When you see comments like that, they got to start the rebuild now. It's as if they haven't been paying attention to the team and what's been happening to the team in the last few months, right? Since the very moment they lost that game against the Ravens and the D-line got trampled, their focus was to build D-line. Even a few years ago when Omar Khan took over from Kevin Colbert, they brought in Andy Weidel from the Eagles, and he built the Eagles up from the O-line to the D-line. Shout out to Matty Peverill. Matty Peverill talked about this 2 years ago when they said they're trenchy. They're trenchy, not trendy. They're not going for the trendy quarterback, and that's Matty Peverill's line, but they're not going for the fucking quarterback. They're going for the trench guys up front to build bigger, better, stronger, and then build every year. Then they are going to get, we need this, we need that guy. We need to go and get a receiver. I'm happy they went D lineman because these are guys you can instill in the defense for many years to come and be leaders on your program to go and hit someone, fuck someone up, and say, let's effing go. People forget this is football. This is not fantasy football. This is fucking football. All right, I'll stop swearing. Gene says we need 6 quarterbacks. Put some questions before we finish. We'll finish in 12 minutes. We'll go for an hour. I thank all 24 people in the chat today. And put any questions in the chat, and I'll try and respond to them. Holy dooly. Yeah, who in the right mind goes into a season saying we want to lose as none of the games as No, I think losing culture. I think to your point, Blue Nose, I think losing culture is fucking piss poor. I don't think you should have the mentality to lose anything. I think you should be competitive, like I try and be, in work, sporting, maybe even sometimes social life and stuff like that. You need to be competitive, right? I think that if you're a losing culture and loser mindset, like you see fans out there say we should lose this season and focus on next year, fuck that. I think that's dumb. I think that's really stupid. I think if you are supporting your team, you want to win every game. You want to win a chance this year to go to the playoffs and try and win. Doesn't matter who's on your squad, you want to win. I think loser mentality is exactly that. It's loser mentality. It's like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Yes, you can. You can do it if you put your fucking mind to it. If you can, oh, that guy's, I can't verse that guy. He's too hard. Oh, we can't beat that team. Yes, you can. You can if you put your mind to it. So I hate loser mentality, man. I think loser mentality is what it is. It's a loser. You're a loser. Chicken City or chicken burger today. I don't know what should I do. It's like 2 p.m. I started later. Maybe I could get chicken burger today. Maybe chicken burger. Yeah, every year, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they play tough. Even though we lost the last 5, but they were going 8-3. They play tough. They try to win. They do not try to lose. What up, S Danks? No, I've never been to Darwin. Darwin's all the way up north. I'd say it'd be worth it. It's like out in the bush. It's all the way up north in Northern Territory. There's a lot of crocs up there. It's really hot. It's really muggy because it's so close to the equator. I've never been there. The furthest I've been is like, I think it was Townsville up top. But yeah, Darwin's all the way up top the Northern Territory. So, yeah, you can check it out. You can do like river tours and stuff like that. You can feed crocodile and stuff like that. I wouldn't recommend going swimming because swimming in the lakes or the dams probably filled with crocs. Yeah, Darwin's like all the way up top. Here's like Australia here. That's Darwin, and then like it goes down like this. I'm like down there. Holy. Gene says Fight Club or Point Break. I haven't actually seen Fight. Have I seen Fight Club? No, I've never seen Fight Club. I'd probably say Point Break. I don't think I've seen Fight Club. Carth says, any luck getting a room? I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. I've got one lead or two leads that I'm trying, and I'm hoping I can get it solved in the next 2 months. The other one I'm trying to book is my trip to Ireland as well, to Dublin. I'm trying to figure that out as well. So yeah, Roberta, thanks, Chloe. Yeah, the Crocs on your feet, not those Crocs. I'm talking like real Crocs, like actual Crocs, like real, like, you know what I mean? The ones that want to snap you up. So yeah, but I'm definitely trying to figure out. It's so crazy. I got to figure out Europe because I want to go to Ireland and maybe some like other countries around Europe. I want to go around there and see what happens like for 3 or 4 weeks. G'day Isaiah, what's going on, mate? I want to figure out too the Pittsburgh draft. So I'm just hoping things align and it all works enough in my favor. It's all good. It's all good. What up, Zaya, mate? I know you've been making content too. Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers has been making content about this kind of stuff. That Mike Tomlin is getting disrespected. The Steelers are getting disrespected again. I've been doing fucking YouTube for 4 years now, and that's all I ever hear. All I ever hear is about the Steelers being so, you're gonna go 6-10. You're gonna go 6-11. The Steelers are gonna go 5-12. Mike Tomlin will not win this season. They have no quarterback. Yada yada yada. Mason Rudolph could do it. Wow. Hotel room for $400 by Station Square. They were sold at day 3. There you go. Okay. My friends and I are going to drive from New Jersey, about 6 hours drive for the draft. We plan to see I think everyone's going, man. I think like 1 million people are going. It's going to be insane. So yeah, I'm trying to work with Matty Peverill to get there. Flights will be okay. It's just combination. It's insane. It's actually insane, man. I know the fact is people go back to he hasn't won a playoff game, but the guy contends. The guy and every DK from DK Metcalf and TJ Watt to Cameron Hayward, all these superstar players play for Mike Tomlin because he's a great coach, and they keep going back to we haven't won a playoff game. We get that. A lot of fucking teams haven't won a playoff game. A lot of fucking teams haven't won it. That's what I'm saying. That's what fucking shits me. A lot of fucking teams have not won the Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin has won Super Bowl. 12 teams have never won it, ever. In 100 years, 12 teams have never won it, including 4 who have never been. And still a fan base, they're so fucking spoiled. They're so spoiled. Like, can we get better? Yes. Hopefully we do get better. But they're so spoiled. They're absolutely, they're insane. They're just drives me up the wall. Yeah, 100%. Oh, we know, and Bill was good, but they always compare him to Bill. 100%. Dead set. Alrighty, Steel Nation, I'm getting fired up. Let's get out of here. Yeah, let's get out of here. That was fun. 24 people in the house. Thank you very much. 54 minutes in. I know I swore a lot today, so I apologize for all the children listening, for all the people who don't like me swearing. I do apologize. I shouldn't do that on the, but sometimes it really shits me. And I know I apologize for swearing that I swear anyway. It really just annoys me. These NFL people that are saying we're going to win 6 games, you know, they're saying yeah, we're going to win 6 games. They need a rebuild. They need this yag off too. It's like, I have no idea. They have no idea. 0-6 in the face, you know. They have absolutely no idea about this team. This team is always competitive.
And yes,
always. Let's go.
And I'll amend this if Rodgers plays, or maybe I won't. We're going to predict it again. One of these years we're going to be right. Mike Tomlin is going to have a losing record this year. I guarantee this is the year. They are worse at quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. Worse at receiver. Worse at running back. Schedule's difficult. I think the Jets are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers week number 1 of the season. Mason Rudolph?
Mason Rudolph? I hope, you know what? I hope Mason Rudolph absolutely comes out and carves it up. I hope Mason Rudolph goes for 40 TDs. No, let's be somewhat realistic. Mason Rudolph goes for 30 TDs or 29 TDs, 5 interceptions, 4,500 yards, and has a chance for MVP. The NFL would lose their mind if he had a chance for MVP. If Mason Rudolph goes out there and scores 30 TDs and his winning record of 8-2 into week 10 or week 11, whatever it is, that they're talking about Mason Rudolph being a solid quarterback, the NFL would lose their fucking mind. They would go nuts. They'd be like, oh, Mason Rudolph is winning? Yeah, dude. And that would say that Mike Tomlin does know how to develop quarterbacks. Relief. Playoffs? All right, I'm out. Everyone, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll see you all later. Holy dooly. What an episode. What an freaking episode. I'll see you later.
I'll see you guys later. Left the light on. See you later. Bye.